Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in today's episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session all about adventure. And I was working with a client that had a real sense of adventure throughout their childhood and throughout their kind of early adulthood. But in their 30s, something changed, and it was likely to do with their work environment, where following the rules became more of a rewarded culture than taking risk and being adventurous. And that can happen. You know, equally, a lot of people lose a sense of adventure naturally when they get older because they've got more responsibilities and they don't want to lose these things that they've built up. But it comes at a cost, and the cost is that no risk, no reward. And if you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to keep getting what you've always got. And I think that's an Einstein, or at least attributed to an Einstein quote. But it makes sense that if you believe in cause and effect, keep doing the same things, you're going to keep getting similar kind of outcomes. So adventure doesn't have to be quitting your job and going traveling around the world. And it doesn't have to be buying a boat or a zoo or something like that. Adventure could be taking a risk in any area of your life, something outside of the comfort zone, something that has unpredictable outcomes that you don't know it's going to work out okay. Committing to a relationship could be an adventure. Trying a different career could be an adventure. So there's all these things that can be adventures that don't have to link with the standard idea of what an adventure is. You don't have to become Indiana Jones and look for treasure somewhere far-flung part of the world to be having an adventure. And this particular client wanted to reactivate this sense of adventure because they'd got into an element of playing it safe so much that they weren't doing anything different in case something goes wrong. But that's what makes an adventure, the fact that there is no guarantees. If it was guaranteed, it feels more like a theme park ride. It's the illusion of excitement, but not real excitement because everything's safe. So true adventure does carry some form of risk that things might not work out. And being okay with that. It's not that you need the guarantees. It's that if something doesn't go to plan, then that itself becomes an opportunity to problem solve, to learn, to resolve a situation. And nobody would become a parent if they didn't realize that there would be unpredictable things that happen. So there's all of these things that naturally have that element of you can't know for sure what is going to happen, but people make the evaluation consciously or unconsciously that they'll deal with it. Every business owner, you could ask them, you know, would you have even started the business if you knew all the challenges that you would face? And quite often they would say no. But the fact that they didn't know and were willing to deal with the challenges as they arise actually leads them to becoming quite resilient and resourceful and having the mindset that they can deal with whatever life throws at them. This particular client could identify a lot with an old children's series of books called The Famous Five. And The Famous Five, written by Enid Blyton, and it had certain characters, a family, 4 siblings and a dog that go on these wild adventures. And it was very, very popular many, many years ago. And it was, for a lot of children, a gateway into how they could be adventurous within their imagination and which characters they could identify with. So this particular client had that experience of identifying with these kind of characters in The Famous Five, but also the adventure that Alice in Wonderland goes on in either Alice in Wonderland or Through the Looking Glass, this kind of element of strange place within the imagination. You know, most people look at Alice in Wonderland as a metaphor for the capability of the imagination, and that what she experienced wasn't real. It was just a way for her to explore her imagination. So we use those in the induction, and the 5 characters from the famous 5 become almost archetypes to represent different ego states or resource states, the idea that they exist within the individual. And we work with those rather than saying like we have to kill off a part. It's more to give it its role. And a nurturing part should be giving nurturing responsibilities. You don't want a nurturing part to be making decisions on risk, because they're going to be risk averse. Whereas a courageous adventurer is going to take the risks, and you want to have the right role in the right function. So there's a bit going on in this session, but at its core, this is all about unleashing a renewed sense of adventure. And one thing I will say, I was aware that when I was recording this, there was a little bit of noise outside of my studio that I wasn't able to control. So if you hear that, just acknowledge that, you know, what I do is never, I never stop the hypnosis. I just kind of carry on. You know, in hypnotists are taught to do something called manage distractions. So if it was a real client, you would pre-frame that in the pre-talk. Obviously, you can't do that in a recording. So this is my equivalent of that now, just to say any distractions, just allow them to, you know, come up and then disappear and continue with the session. I hope you enjoy this, particularly if you want to feel more adventurous this year. So find a quiet, comfortable place where you ideally won't be disturbed throughout the whole thing, and just relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a slow, long, relaxing breath. And as you exhale, just allow the weight of the day to gently melt away, and feel that tension leave your body in that outward breath. As you breathe in and breathe out, allow yourself to relax more deeply. Allow yourself to release any tension and feel a wonderful sense of letting go. Of letting go of old ideas, things you learned perhaps in a structured, hierarchical world that doesn't belong to you anymore. Scan your body for any clues of tension and set the intention, not that these tensions will melt away, set the intention that these tensions can be harnessed, almost like alchemy. But instead of turning lead into gold, what if you were turning tension into adventure? As you breathe in and breathe out, feel that tension start to convert, alter, and change. And while that alchemy is happening, perhaps you could imagine a tranquil garden bathed in soft spring sunshine. A place where time seems to stand still. I want you to imagine you're exploring this garden. It feels magical. And imagine noticing something curious. A rabbit hole that twists and turns into the earth. Or perhaps a glistening looking glass that shimmers with possibilities. You can choose to explore the rabbit hole or the looking glass. Allow your intuition to tell you as you evaluate which of the two calls you more. Feel the pull, the invitation to explore something unknown. And as you do, notice how a sense of calm curiosity begins to grow, allowing you to trust this journey into your own unconscious mind. And maybe you lean forward, stepping through the looking glass or sliding effortlessly down the rabbit hole. And with each movement, feel yourself transitioning, perhaps going deeper and deeper into a new realm, a space where anything is possible, where your imagination and resources can be what they're destined to be. Feel the journey unfolding, layer by layer, as you drift down past the conscious into the subconscious and into the boundless realms of your unconscious, as each breath carries you further and deeper into a place where marvelous, incredible changes are possible. As you find yourself in this new realm, imagine yourself in a vibrant, dreamlike landscape filled with a glow of opportunity. And imagine before you stand 5 figures, each radiating their own unique energy. These are not strangers, but parts of you, aspects of yourself waiting to guide you. Perhaps you could imagine Julian, the leader, stepping forward, exuding confidence, clarity, and a quiet courage. As you feel his presence and recognize the strength within yourself to lead boldly, to face risks head-on with poise and determination. And he tells you, adventure is not about guarantees. It's about the thrill of the unknown. You are capable of handling whatever comes your way, so trust in yourself. And next, Dick steps forward, cheerful, resourceful, and playful. His energy reminds you that even in the face of challenges, there is joy to be found, clever solutions to uncover, and laughter to lighten the load. He whispers, "Remember, every risk can lead to unexpected joy and growth." And then comes George, standing tall and defiant. George's rebellious spirit encourages you to break free from the limitations of fear or hesitation. And she says, "True adventure begins when you embrace your wild side. So be bold and let your instincts guide you." Anne approaches gently, offering warmth and compassion. And Anne represents your nurturing side. The part of you that cares deeply, creates comfort, and ensures balance. And she smiles and says, "I am here to ground you, to remind you that care and kindness are your foundation. And while adventure calls, I will keep you steady." And finally, Timmy the dog, your protector, appears by your side. And his loyal presence assures you that you are never alone. And he conveys this through his steady gaze. "Whatever path you choose, I am here to guide and guard you." And maybe you identify with some of these archetypes and characters more than others, but they all exist within you. So embrace them as they form a powerful team, your team, equipped to embrace the unpredictable, to navigate challenges, and find joy in the journey. As you begin to accept all of these parts of yourself, you begin to imagine a future filled with adventure and fulfillment. See yourself standing in nature, perhaps rolling hills and countryside, perhaps somewhere distant, a different town, a different part of the world. Allow your imagination to take you somewhere that represents far away from your comfort zone. And maybe you could imagine yourself by the edge of a serene sanctuary, maybe a sanctuary that you've created. And maybe see yourself surrounded by animals, creatures that rely on your care, your courage, your willingness to take risks, to create this haven. And a penny drops where you realize that your nurturing side can only flourish if your adventurous side takes bold steps and real risks. That version of you that can climb mountains, cross rivers, and make decisions that feel uncertain, knowing that growth comes from action, not guarantees. So each time you leap into the unknown and dive into the mysteries, you feel stronger, more capable, and more alive. In this future, you embrace a simple principle that you either win or you learn, and the only way to lose is to stay still and do nothing. So imagine that voice of Julian, this time within you, saying the thrill of adventure lies in its unpredictability, and that's exactly what makes it so worthwhile. And so, you smile at the uncertainty, the challenges, and even the occasional failures, because you know, deep within, that they are all part of the grand adventure called life. So now step towards that future and imagine no longer seeing yourself but being there in that future, thriving in the midst of unpredictable variables. And maybe you find joy in solving problems, in navigating mysteries, and in taking risks that lead to extraordinary experiences. Each challenge only strengthens your resourcefulness and makes your resolve unbreakable. So imagine building a sanctuary for life, not just for animals and nature, but for your own adventurous spirit. The unpredictability of the animals, the weather, the terrain, is what makes it so appealing. But it is here that the nurturing side of you finds purpose. You've been trying to leave that nurturing part behind, but what if the adventurous part enables you to be more nurturing than ever before? A version of you that will feel deeply fulfilled because you took risks and unleashed that adventurous side that's been waiting within. What if the deep fulfillment comes from knowing that your courageous actions create beauty, safety, and meaning for others? And maybe you now realize that true adventure lies in not knowing what will happen next, and really appreciating, even loving that. It is this unpredictability that makes life rich and rewarding. And as you look back at your past, you know that to be true. Your biggest adventures are where you took a risk and made a decision. So now take a moment to thank these archetypes within you, not characters in a book, parts of you. But thank them for their guidance, and as you do, feel them merge into your being more prominent. That all of these, no matter their personality, all crave adventure, and feel them becoming a seamless part of who you are. Julian's courage, Dick's resourcefulness, George's boldness, Anne's nurturing, and Timmy's protection are all within you, ready to support your every step. Feel the reintegration happening, that you are unleashing a new adventurous spirit with unshakable belief that whatever happens, you'll be fine. Get a glimpse of that future and all the different futures, travel, new friendships, relationships, new hobbies, new things to learn, new places to live. Imagine it all and know that it's just a decision and an action away. So it's time to bring back to the present, the here and now, that adventurous team within, becoming a dominant part of your new Awaken personality. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Start to calibrate into the here and now as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken realizing that all of these ideas are just that. Ideas within ideas, thoughts within thoughts, even dreams within dreams. And now it's time to awaken the adventurous you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.